Today we're going to install the Gator EFX hard folding cover on this 2019 new body style GMC Sierra. Now this is the same install for the Chevy Silverado. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm starting on the passenger side. Everything I do on the passenger side will also be done on the driver's side. This is the passenger side rail. You're gonna have these clamp spacers in here that have the word clamp written on them. And then you're gonna have this rubber bumper that faces to the inside of the bed of the truck. You've also got your drain spout that's gonna be towards the cab. You've also got a piece of packing material that can be removed. That just makes sure it doesn't get damaged in transit. Next, we're gonna take the rail and put it up against the bed cap. Slide it all the way forward, but we're not going to leave it there for right now. We're just going to rotate it on top of the bed cap. This is so that we can see where our clamps are going to be installed. So this clamp right here, if you reach underneath there and you squeeze the bed cap cover to the flange, the metal flange underneath the bed cap, there's no movement at all. There's no space in between here. But the next one down, there is some movement. There's some space in between the plastic bed cap cover and the metal flange. So what we need to do is take one of our rubber spacers. This is a shim. We're going to slide it in between the bed cap and the metal flange. That way there's no movement. This way when we tighten that down, it doesn't draw the angle of the rail down into the bed. We go to the very rear, and that one also has metal directly behind there. So we don't need to put a shim at the rear, only at the center location. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and rock this back down. Make sure the front is all the way up against the bulkhead, and we're gonna go ahead and start attaching our clamps. Here is our clamp assembly. Now, all of our clamps, we're gonna be doing the exact same thing. You've got the front half and the rear half. The rear half has two notches. We'll be using the lower notch, not the top notch. All right, so next we're going to undo this bolt almost all the way out. That way we can get the clamp far enough apart to spread apart and bite down on the rail. Go ahead and push it to the side, engage our clamp on this side, and then rotate this side of the clamp up and lock it in place like so. Then finger tight, we want to go ahead and tighten down the bolt. Now before we tighten this all the way down, we're going to want to make sure that the top edge of the rail is even with the top of the bed cap. And we're going to take a 1/2 inch wrench or ratchet and go ahead and tighten that down. Just get it nice and snug. Do not over tighten this. Next two clamps we're going to install the exact same way. All right, now this particular truck has a bed rug, so what we're going to do is we're going to route the drain tube out the side. So I'm going to pull the bed rug back where notice we've got a little hole right here in the side of the GM truck. Let's take a piece of our drain tube and we're going to cut it a little bit long so we got plenty to push through that hole. So go ahead and feed part through the hole, and the other part feed up onto the drain tube on the drain cup itself. Now is when we want to have our bulkhead seal installed. However, this truck already has a bulkhead seal from a previous install. If you do not have a bulkhead seal already installed, you're going to want to go all the way from one side, one bed cap, all the way to the opposite bed cap, as far back away from the cab as possible before it starts to fall down into the bed of the truck. And make sure you wipe down your bulkhead really well with some rubbing alcohol so you get proper adhesion. Now let's go ahead and take our cover, set it up on top of the bulkhead. The seal portion of the cover needs to sit right over top of our bulkhead seal that we've installed. Once that's in place, go ahead and set the cover in between the rails and just let it drop into place. Now we need to go ahead and align the cover. The way we're going to do that is fold each panel back towards the tailgate. As those panels go back, make sure they're centered in between the rails. A good indication that they're centered is that whenever you push it down, it engages both latches. Also make sure that it's pushed as far forward as possible without going up over top of the bulkhead. When you get to the last panel and get it centered, go ahead and close the tailgate and make sure you have plenty of clearance. Now we can go ahead and very gently fold these two panels towards the cab of the truck and latch down the front panel. Now your front panel is going to get a total of 4 retaining clamps. This is what the clamp looks like. It's going to slide into a track that looks just like this. The way this works is we're going to undo this star knob. When we push up, we're going to see we've got a carriage bolt. That carriage bolt is going to slide in place and line up inside that track. Then push the retaining clamp all the way up to where it engages with the rail, and then we can go ahead and tighten down our star knob. Now all you have to do is get it nice and snug, and it's installed. All 4 of these clamps are going to install the exact same way. Now if you ever need to remove the cover, the best way to do that is just loosen up the clamp, slide it back in the track, tighten back up, do that to all 4 clamps. The cover can easily be removed and stored just like that. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.